Hey guys, Ziando here, bringing you another gameplay commentary on Boomkin PvP. Today we're going to do some EOTs. We opened up a good cat and a whoop ass over here on EOTs, and me and Val had a really good opener, and I thought it was pretty fun. So I'm going to go ahead and commentate, and you guys can decide whether it looked like it was a good game or not. Right off the bat, we decided that we were going to hit up Mage Tower just to kind of get a little bit more action than usual. You know, guarding a flag isn't that fun, for obvious reasons. However, we do guard flags regularly if we think it's something that's going to benefit us. Unfortunately, in randoms, me and Valfor find that normally if we're not on the offense group, shit kind of falls apart. We're not saying that we're amazing, but we're saying we make a huge difference on the offensive team than we do guarding a flag. So we immediately show up at Mage Tower here. I popped all my cooldowns and started mass dotting everybody. And as you see, like, these guys are just dropping. Now, I was talking to Valfor, and he said he didn't cast a single spell. He said he turned around and he got to cast like one Inferno and a Shadow Burn, and everything was already dead. So that was all my cooldowns, which means those guys didn't have any health. So, or I'm the most amazing Boomkin in the world that can do a shit ton of damage. Either way, odds are that that was good for us. So, anyhow, now we start seeing a lot of our allies start grouping up over here at Mage Tower for some reason. And we have one lonely hunter that decides he's going to go invisible down at the bottom there and not mess with us. But then this paladin just charges up here for no apparent reason and decides to get his ass kicked. So, we clean up the paladin real quick, and we decide that we're going to probably head off and take DR just so we can try to get a 4-cap, because it looked like our team was doing pretty good, and a 4-cap would get us in and out of the game pretty fast. This paladin just sat here. I don't even think he tried to heal himself for the most part, but he got pretty messed up by everybody that was there. So like I said, we mount up, we start running across the field here, and we're going to go straight into DR. Now, looking at DR, it looks like they're already having a little bit of a fight. There's a lot of the team over there, and obviously it's because they rezzed over there, and we took Mage Tower, so it really put us at a disadvantage. And it was just us two going up here, and we had a hunter there with us and a shaman, but they weren't necessarily healing or anything like that. And their focus was really off. They weren't doing a ton of damage. So mine and Val's was the main focus to try to take out that healer, but Nick Cutie, because he's a Disco Priest, and Disco seems like they got pretty buffed. He didn't have a ton of health, which tells me he didn't have a ton of gear. However, with the buffs that Disco got, it doesn't surprise me that it was pretty tough to kill him. Between Spirit Shell and just regular shielding, not to mention his Aegis, his soap bubbles, it was really hard to try to take him down. So all I did was I went up to the top and I started mass dotting as many people as I could so I can get some Star Surge procs and hope to get a couple lucky, 3-4 Star Surge procs in a row so I can get some really good burst on the Disco Priest. However, that didn't work out for me, especially since I jumped in the middle of all the DPS and they decided to have a good little holiday beating the shit out of me. So that hurt. Now, I'm dead, and this whole time I'm talking to Valfor, and he's over there, and he decided he was going to run away. So immediately upon his decision of running away, all he has is my Rejuvenate that he gets from symbiosising me, and I decided I would go help him out because I'd get a couple extra kills, and then we could restart the assault on DR again, as we did lose Blood Elf. So I start running across the path here after resin, and I immediately just get off my mount and start healing Valfor. So my heals aren't necessarily fast, so it takes a little bit to build up, but they're enough to save Val in order for him to take out that DK real quick. Now, for some reason, this guy's playing Affliction, which Affliction got a huge buff, so I know why he's playing Affliction. Now, we're not very familiar with fighting Afflictions this season, as most people aren't, so it'll be interesting to see how it is next season. However, this Affliction Warlock, he was doing quite a bit of damage, so I had to try to get out of there, and I immediately removed Curse so I could remove the corruption from me, and anything else he might have put on me, to kind of reduce some of the damage that I was already taking, and then I started just healing myself up. If you notice as we play through here, I repeatedly put Rejuve on me. It's not because, I think I need to press it over and over again. It's because I want to just make sure I have a constant stream of healing coming in on myself. Because if I do take damage, it's the same concept of the Shadow Priest using a bubble. You know, they have to burn through that as well. So, and if I don't take damage, then I end up just healing up to full, which is fine by me. So we get up to the top here at DR. Most of them had dispersed to go over to Blood Elf, and so we started opening up on everybody. And here we are, just healing, or not healing, just mass dotting everybody. And this mage just, I don't know, he kept trying to run away, but he wasn't getting away from us. So we switched, murdered him real quick, and now we're trying to take out that Disco Priest again, which with his bubbles and such wasn't the easiest time we'd had. So after he had jumped down, I kind of threw some dots on him, threw a Star Surge at him, and then he decided he was going to go invisible and ends up, as you see, dying to dots anyway. So that was his own fault. Now we just start cleaning up all the DPS, and it was really easy to clean up at DR. Now once we finish off this Affliction lock, I pull up my map here, and you'll see, like, all of a sudden, like, what the hell happened to our offense? All we had was FR, and we lost Mage Tower and Blood Elf. And for some reason, their whole team was following me and Val again. And we have this happen a lot. Like, we have a really good offensive coordination, me and Val, and we find that the enemy team, or the friendly team, decides that they're going to follow us around. And we've had whole games where people just follow us and try to assault shit instead of protecting the flag. So you won't see any gameplays, obviously, of me trying to protect a flag, but we do have to stay behind quite a bit, and obviously it's a detriment to both a Boomkin and a Warlock. Guarding a flag really isn't something that they're very... Well, Warlocks can do it, but Boomkins aren't super awesome at guarding flags, so... mostly because they need range in order to move around, and it never really works out for them. Now here we have that bad Holy Paladin again, and I cycloned him so we could finish off the DK earlier, as you saw, and he's running back into the building, so I'm like, great, he's going to put some distance between him and this lock, and I told Val, hey, let's kill this lock real quick. So a lock just starts running away, and he gained a ton of health through his own abilities, and then we noticed that there's a healer back there, so we just pulled back to Mage Tower. Or we didn't. I guess we didn't do that. So I guess we decided we were going to take on the healer and the Affliction lock. Most of the time, if we were doing an RBG, or rated, we would have actually just pulled back to the tower, because there's no point in fighting in the middle, for obvious reasons. And I really don't like fighting in the middle. I feel really open, and anybody can pretty much hit me, and I'm not really accomplishing any of the objectives. In this case, because we were recording, because our team was doing so terrible, we kind of decided that we were going to do our own thing. So I immediately start CCing the Holy Paladin so we can get some health knocked off of our friend here. And I lock up the H-Pal as much as possible, Solar Beam, Cyclone, and then I just make sure that I can take down the Affliction lock as far as possible on my own. Between my coordination and Val's coordination, we were able to kind of lock up the H-Pal long enough so that the rest of our team could pretty much just take out the Affliction lock, which was fine. And you could play that either way. You could CC the crap of the Affliction lock, or you could CC the crap out of the H-Pal. In that case, it was better to CC the H-Pal because the Affliction lock was doing so much damage. And he would still do damage even if he was CC'd, because once his dots are out, then they're out. And unless we have a healer, there's no way to get rid of them. And it's not advised that healers, dispel Afflict right now, since they automatically get crit from the Affliction effect, and they get silence, so it really screws them over. Now we decided to go in the middle here. Normally we don't go straight through the middle, but we're going to go try to get BE. And as we play through this, we've run into this priest, and this is where I kind of decided that it was really hard to actually just beat down the priest, because everything we tried, like, he just would not die. So we lock him up as much as possible, try to prevent him from using all his abilities, and he just, for some reason, he just kept gaining health, even though we were beating the crap out of him. He was gaining health, gaining health, gaining health. So we decided we'd just take out his little buddy here, the Bad Hunter, and then we would focus on killing him. But even though he had 3 or 4 guys on him, he was really, really taking quite a beating without dying. So that really kind of showed me a light on Disco Priests in general, because that was both me and Val. as well as a few of our other teammates trying to kill this guy over here, and he's just staying up. So that really enlightened me on how they're going to be played in rated and how valuable they actually will be compared to how they were this past season. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, as we play through, we kind of noticed, hey, we're about to get a 4-cap, and so we start going back. We got the flag, and we said we'd take DR back or Mage Tower again, but they're about to take Mage Tower anyhow. So we charge back into Mage Tower and immediately start beating down on some paladin ass here. So the stronger of the two paladins is definitely the Soulfire or Sulker or whatever his name was. So we start focusing that guy as much as possible. This rogue, he joined late. He was one of the rage quit joiners, and my new approach to fighting rogues has changed quite a bit from what it was in 5.1. Where it hasn't changed too much, but rogues overall have changed, so I've kind of had to adjust my playstyle when fighting a rogue. Now, when fighting a rogue, the first thing I do is pop Fairy Fire on them, which is what you should do anyway, but normally they hit Cloak of Shadows. Now, I do play with Gladiator LOSA, so I do know that when they are going to do Cloak, I know when they use Cloak and I know when it ends. So as soon as it ends, I normally try to hit them with a Fairy Fire right away. That way they get screwed over and they can't use Vanish, and then we can just finish them off instead of letting them wander around with full health. Now up here, I noticed that we had the Hunter coming up here, and I wanted to make sure he didn't get the Rejuve inside. So I was trying to just beat him to it. That way he didn't get any health back. Not that he was really worried about health for obvious reasons, but I just want to make sure he didn't have any kind of advantage over us, being that he already had a healer outside. The overall fight out here was really tough. I didn't have any cooldowns, so all it was just pure dots and casting Star Surge for the most part. And you'll see me use quite a bit of CC, and that was just so that I could try to minimize either damage or healing output while the rest of my team kind of got to do their job. And when I noticed somebody start getting low, I started immediately casting Star Surges and such that way, so I can try to get the necessary damage off. Now, as you're seeing, you don't really see me casting Starfire and Wrath as much. Now, if we're really trying to kill somebody, and say we're focusing on killing, like you saw earlier, I was fighting that Affliction lock in the middle with the H-Pal. We were trying to kill him, but I was in a lunar state, so I decided to use Starfire. Now, Starfire is the only exception that I really make to the rule of not casting, and it really depends on what's going on around me. If it's only one person I'm fighting, or two people in that case, but I have somebody backing me up, I normally will cast Starfire, because if it does crit, it hits really hard. And it's very important that I try to utilize that damage as much as possible. So now we're playing through here. We're about to win. We're about 1580 to 560. The Alliance really just got dominated in overall DPS here, and overall just gameplay in general. They really couldn't keep up with us. They did have one exceptional healer over here, which is this Disco Priest. That was about it. Now, that's the end of the gameplay, so please comment, rate, subscribe, and look for more videos coming out. Thank you, and you have a great day.